We're going live. Fix that to the best of my ability. Alright. Now I just gotta drop off the links. And we'll be on our way. We're gonna be doing a short-ish show. And because I am going to the Wizards game tonight. I'm from the DC Wizards game tonight. For sure. Alright. It's 5. We're live. Bada bing. Posted it. Alright. And then I gotta hit the old Twitter. What's going on, guys? If anyone's there yet. And I've got to email this link to my buddy Josh, who also wants it. So, where the hell's Twitter? What's going on, guys? I had another night last night. Ended up losing $500. It Kevin Love just murdered me, and I'm sorry if I murdered you guys. My Jeremy Grant pick was good, so let's start like this. Let's put in the chat anyone I helped win money last night. I want to hear the story. I want to hear something good because Kevin Love probably killed everybody. Yeah, so last night it was I ended up coming in 73rd in the 3-ball. Max Dallery had a hell of a night. But one dude, Jay Chris was his name, he just had a perfect lineup. He scored 373. He was uncatchable. It was beautiful. It had a lot of my plays, but he also had Gasol on that team and like one other guy. You ruined my 3-ball team. I'm sorry, C Dome. That wasn't my goal. Who did it? Was it Love? Were you not on Love? And I put you on Love. My Jeremy Grant pick was good. Cannon was good. The fate of Covington was almost good. He turned it on late in the game. Prior to that, I'm sure you guys were loving me. I wasn't on Gasol at all. I mean, you can't nail them all. He raped every tourney. I was high on him, man. I don't know why they didn't go down to him. He had Jared Dudley on him. And when I knew that Jared Dudley was starting, I liked him even more. But it's like this NBA is just turning into, pick and roll, and that's what they run, and they don't go down low. I mean, I feel like if the coach was smart, I mean, yeah, they still won, and John Wall was on fire and all that kind of stuff. But it's I don't know why they didn't throw it to Love more. It doesn't make any sense. And he had some open looks and he missed them. It is what it is. Aminu was trash too. But see, Aminu and McCollum were based on me hoping that Lillard was out, and I said that. So hopefully you guys changed that stuff once you saw that information. I gotta go to my email. So tonight I'm loving the Wizards. Now a lot of that might be because I'm going to the game, so take that, with a grain of salt. But I absolutely love the Wizards tonight. And I like Gortat down low. They're terrible. Beal, I'm not as high on just because his price. And since I do it in tiers, I would rather have Gasol for $200 less. So I'm not on Beal, but my favorite two are Wall. And I'm a little worried about Wall. I really like Gortat. Gortat's in the majority of my lineups. I like Kemba Walker tonight because he's going to have to make an attempt if he wants to keep that game close. And with the guys out, he's going to have to get some extra run. I like Jeremy Lamb coming off the bench. I'll go through my lineup here in a second. I'm trying to send an email. I just got to look at what it is. So let's see if you guys got any questions. CJ was horrible. I didn't have CJ. Len tonight, I do like Len, but I'm going another route because I think that recency bias, people are going to be on him. And I think that both Gortat and Drummond, if you want to pay up, and I forget who the other guy was now off the top of my head. Unfortunately, the internet doesn't stretch far enough. All right, you guys still there? All right, so Yoshimoto says, I hit for 300 on my first time playing a 135K contest, swapped in McCollum to Gasol when the news came out, 300 points even with Love in the lineup. Yeah, I'm sorry, Love, man. Love hurt you. Yeah, last night was crazy. The Lillard situation hurt McCollum. Love was pathetic. Okafor underperformed. James didn't hit value. TJ Warren sucked, but it was just one of those nights. That happens. I mean, it's not my goal going into any of this. I'll put this here and see if I'm not going to lose the internet because this is where I want to be. Yeah, I moved back in here because my last couple nights of picks have been weak, and so I gotta go come back into the lucky office. All right. So we're gonna get into this in a sec, guys. I've got to. What do I have to do? Look at your questions. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, we lost it for a second, so sorry about that, guys. It happened. If I lose it again, I know how to get it back relatively quickly, so I apologize. All right, let me just send this off, and then we'll be on our way. Um, oh yeah, Dallery's good, man. I met him when I did the basketball tourney, and he's very smart, man. People hate on him, and they say that he, with his scripts and his this and his that. Listen, this is a game of strategy. That's actually the most important piece of this. This is why this is okay and why it should remain okay. And he's so incredibly gifted at that analytic side of sports. Is he's what everyone should aspire, to be in your own way, in your own realm. And if he's figured out a way to beat the system, more power to him. He's not doing anything illegal. He's not doing anything outside the rules of the game. If they want to change the rules, which they do in life, like that rule that came along in the NBA, not too long ago because of Hack a Shack, where like in the final 2 minutes you can't do that. They changed a rule because of a player in the game. So if it's unfair that Dallery is incredible, then someone needs to change the rules. But until they do, I say get as much money as you can, Dallery. You were very nice to me in Vegas, and you're a good dude. Despite people talk shit because they want to be that. I respect what he does. I'm not a hater. I mean, his 50 lineup train ended up in front of all mine too. So it is what it is. All right, here I'm getting things on Twitter. Yeah, you can follow me at DFS is fun on Twitter, and you can send stuff there, which is probably the easiest way to communicate because it just comes right through and I can see it. So now let's get into my plays for tonight, boys. Oh, I also got a follow from CSURM. So if you're watching, Pete, thank you so much, buddy. It's validating me. Said that I'm absolutely worthy of doing a podcast with him. Absolutely crushing it, man. Keep it going. So I'm absolutely worthy, but I still haven't gotten the offer. Come on, Pete. Nah, I like Pete. Pete's a good dude, too. We had a good time in LA. Or in Vegas. Hopefully they'll lift that ban so we can get back to that. All right. So, DraftKings.com. And my lineup. So I'm loving the Wizards tonight, boys. I'm loving Gortat. I've got Len in one lineup just because I want to have exposure to that cheap, or two lineups because I want to have exposure to that cheap salary relief. But loving Gortat. Going to the game, loving Gortat. So Gortat in the lineups. Loving Cannon again because I'll love Cannon all the way up to about $6,000. He's doing really well for me. I like Jeremy Lamb. I think that in either event, I feel like he gets extra run tonight. And the reason why I think he gets extra run is because if they have to try to keep up with Golden State, they're going to need his scoring ability. And if they're getting blown out, he's a backup. He's going to come in and get extra run. So I think he's going to launch a bunch of threes. I like Teletovic. Teletovic is my value play of the day, and he is pretty much everywhere in all my lineups. So I'm liking him. I'm also loving Porzingis. Big on Porzingis. I'm big on John Wall. Problem is that John Wall will never shoot as well as he did last night a day in his life, and I probably wouldn't play him ever again unless he was playing the Lakers. So I'm hoping to God that the Lakers can keep it relatively close and the Wall has not a similar game to yesterday, but if he can go for 40, I'm happy with that. My high price guys that I've got the most exposure to. I guess I've spread those. I've spread those out. So I've got like Harden, Davis, and I've got one with Curry. I like Curry the least, but every time I like Curry the least, he's gonna be the guy that ends up going nuts and pissing me off. But my lock 'em ups, put them in your lineups tonight for me are Porzingis, Gortat, and I'm also really big on Kemba Walker. So my four big plays that are going to be in the majority of my lineups are Cannon, Porzingis, Gortat, and I love those guys. Love, 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 love. My value play that I also love as a result of him being in all my lineups is Teletovic. Now, I'm not going to give he goes under the sleeper section though. I'm not going to give him the love, 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 love status. There's some kid yelling across the street doing karate. Wow. Suburbs, man. He's out there going, yeah! And he can hear me doing that. He probably thinks I'm making fun of him. Straight beast, he kills it. They're jealous. I feel you. Hello, what's up, Ben? So that's my take on who it is that I love, and I'm not letting anyone talk me off these guys. I've peppered in guys like Green and Draymond Green and like Dudley's in a lineup for salary relief, but of my four lineups, the most exposure. I don't have anybody 100. Well, no, I have Teletovic 100%. But other than Teletovic, I don't have more than 75% exposure to any one player in these four lineups. So that's three lineups. And the guys that I have in at least three lineups are Wall, Cannon, Gortat, Porzingis, and Gasol. I'm also really, really, really big on Pau Gasol. I like Gasol tonight. Any questions? So if I could only pick three that like my word gotta have them tonight, it would be Gortat, Gasol, and Porzingis. But I guess Gortat is more of a sleeper in theory. So let's go Porzingis, Gasol, Cannon, and I like Kemba Walker too. I do like Kemba Walker. From the standpoint of if that game's going to stay close, he has to show up. Him and Lamb have to show up. Porzingis over under 40% owned. He's going to be, no, I think Teletovic is still coming off the bench. No, I will not switch to Ajinsa ever again. I did that, and that was retarded. I shouldn't have done that. That was not a good thing. Just because Teletovic, just because he launches the three, and he's making them. I mean, he's only going to get you points, but at, what's his price? 3,400? You know, get me 20 points, man. Get me 20 points. At that level, who else is going to do it? You know, because I'm tiering them. And I kind of like Bradley Beal tonight, but when you do it by tiers, Gasol has a higher upside and he's $200 less. So that's my feeling on that. Why Kemba Walker? Just because someone needs to. Oh, is Lynn starting? When did that news come out? Like I said, guys, I make lineups. and I talk to people and I jump on here. Did some news elude me? Where are you getting this Lynn starting? I thought Lynn was hurt. Beverly Mahimi. Talk about all his upside. I didn't see that. No, I'm kidding, bro. Okay, dude, no joking. That changes everything. No, I mean, I know I'm a comedian and you can make all kinds of jokes. Just know players aren't playing or players are hurt or players or whatever jokes. Those jokes aren't funny. I don't like those jokes. Make me think that I'm missing something over here. As of 11:40, it says Lynn will play. Nothing about starting. Yeah, he can play. I don't give a shit if he plays. Let him play. I'm worried about his starting. So yeah, those are my play guys. So if you guys don't have any questions, so yeah, the Kemba Walker play is just it revolves around the fact that the only way they're keeping that game close is if Kemba goes for 45, 50 fantasy points. In my opinion. They don't have Jefferson, not that he's a stud, but there are shots then that have to go someplace else. Batum, I believe, is coming off the bench again because they've been starting this rush guy. Maybe that'll change tonight, but even so, they took him off. They put him on the bench for a reason to start a $3,400 player because they obviously seem to like him better. So, or maybe they just like running Batum with the second team. The real sweat. Fading Covington tonight? Yeah, I'm off Covington. It was almost a good play yesterday, and it's a good play today. And he's got to deal with Porzingis, dude. He's 7 feet tall. I'm hoping Porzingis gets 5 blocks tonight. OJ Mayo versus the Spurs or Barton versus the Warriors. Come out to play. Mellow under. Ownership under. The Warriors, I look at I like Barton versus the Warriors. I just don't believe in Mayo. I didn't believe him the other night, and he dudded. Thoughts on Tyreek Evans and D Rose? Not as high on D Rose as I was the other day. I do like the Tyreek Evans play, and as a matter of fact, I forgot to make sure I had a lineup with Tyreek. That's one of the things about doing this show that's good is it allows me to remember things that I otherwise wouldn't have remembered. I do like Tyreek. Looks like I'm not going to be able to get him in a lineup though. But see, oh man, Harden plays zero defense. I mean, Harden is just the worst when it comes to defense. So I do like Tyreek. I just got to figure out where it is I can fit him in here. I think I can fit him in right here. He's actually too cheap. I don't know. I'll work on that. I may have to get some Tyreek. I do like the Tyreek Evans, but I think it's sneaky. Is it bad that I can't get off Porzingis everywhere? No, it's not. It's not. Sorry, they're asking me who I'm going to the game with. Nene ruled out. Gooden's been upgraded to questionable. Even if he plays, how useful could he be? Although that does make Gortat slightly less. Listen, no. Lakers suck against big men. I'm not. I did this yesterday where late news came in. Ugh. So, no one from the terrible defense game in Houston, New Orleans. No, I do, but I have them peppered. I have Harden in like one. I'm saying my main core. My main core can't be Harden, and because if he shits the bed, that's it for me. So my main core is coming from other games, but I do. I've got Harden in one. I've got Davis in one. I've got Harden and Davis actually in one. That was a tricky one, but I got there. Yeah. So I guess I could lose. I really like Wall tonight, guys, but I guess I could lose Wall in one of these and come up to Ty or go down to Tyreek. And I don't think he is on a minutes restriction because he played. I mean, if he is, he played 31 minutes last night. So, and Harden guards no one. He guards no one. He's not interested. He looks so disinterested. You just see him there, and he'd rather listen to his beard grow. Even though I love him for offensive purposes, but no Millsap love, not tonight. Going other places doesn't mean I think he's bad, but going other places. Evans should get in foul trouble though on Harden, don't you think? I mean, yeah, but see, God, I hate talking to you guys. I'm back off Evans. It's a good point. I gotta go with what I think. I can't let you guys talk me out of my players. Damari Carroll's got a revenge game. I've got him in one just because of that. I love the revenge games. Um, I've got at least one of each. The only one I don't have of the big guys is Paul George, and I feel like that is just gonna bite me in the ass. But as I can't do it. I can't do it tonight. And you make a good point though, Ben. You know, so now I'm off him again. Probably already answered this, but I came late. Davis or Harden? If I had, well, I mean, not if I had. I've got one lineup where I was able to put both in, but in every other one, I would have had to have picked one. Ironically, the only lineup that I have with either of them, I have them together because like I couldn't decide. In all the other lineups, I've faded them. They're not in any of my other lineups like by themselves. So, gun to my head, I've got to pick one. I'd rather have Harden because Anthony Davis could have a tough time if they put the two bigs in and they're dealing with both the hell is it, Dwight Howard and Capella. Sorry, I'm reading stuff here. Um, Small forwards, brutal choice. Small forward is really really gross. That's why I went all the way down to Teletovic. I mean, there's not another one on the court that I'm even looking at. I mean, the best small forward of the night is Paul George. Do you want to pay all the way to Paul George? Kawhi Leonard is in play. I had him on a team, and then I pulled him, but he's in play against Milwaukee soft defense. You could always go back to the Covington well, but I'm not. Damari Carroll is the other small forward that I've given consideration to. Thabo Cephalosha, if you want to go all the way down there, I like him, but I decided to go with Teletovic. Okay. Oh, I'm answering the phone like I'm talking to you guys. Oh man, Joshy, you watching, buddy? This is the show. But I want to get a desk, and I want to clear out the garage, and I want to get a desk, and I want to get a table, and I want to get all kinds of stuff. I want to put a green screen behind me so I can put the players up there. I got all these big ideas, but that can only happen if people pay me and if more than 20 people give a shit. But maybe once I'm more focused on the actual basketball, um, people will tune in. Absolutely not. Don't want to pay it for Paul George. Talk to me out of liking Brandon Knight. Okay. I can't really talk you out of liking Brandon Knight because Brandon Knight is a wonderful play. But I can say this because I did some looking at Brandon Knight. And I said to myself, now, Brandon Knight, are you dealing with Brandon Knight at the point guard position? Or is it a guard position or a utility? Because that's important. Because when I look at the salaries as a whole, once again, Brandon Knight is sandwiched right there between Millsap and Green. And then Kemba Walker's sitting there too. So we're talking tournaments here, guys. Okay, we're talking ultimate upside. Okay, ultimate upside based on game script and what would need to happen in order for that to happen. So the incentive for Brandon Knight to score points, sharing the ball with Bledsoe, and it could be either one of them, and they could dish it down to Len, and Len had a great night last night. So the ball's being spread around a little bit. Okay, on Charlotte, you're looking at, because Jefferson's out, you're looking at two people. You're looking at Kemba Walker. If Batum starts, you're looking at Batum. If who's other dude that plays for them? I'm forgetting off the top of my head. But you're looking at Kemba Walker if they're gonna compete. If you don't think they're gonna compete, then Kemba Walker's not a good play. But if they're gonna compete, I don't see how they compete without Kemba Walker taking 25 shots and making 60% of them and hitting his shit from behind the arc. I don't. There's no way they can compete if he doesn't do that, in my opinion. So I think they're going to compete. I think Golden State almost got beat by Utah. I think 19 games in a row is a lot. I still think Golden State's going to win, but I don't think it's going to be a Golden State blowout on the road against Charlotte. They play pretty good defense. I would rather have Draymond Green over Brandon Knight because I think he's going to be lower owned. I think that they're going to shift a lot of coverage to Curry. I think that Kemba is a pretty good on-ball defender. So I think Draymond Green is going to get another chance to shine tonight. He didn't make a lot of shots the other night, but I'm hoping he puts them down tonight. It's all about what could happen. If you want to play what will happen, then go play cash games. That's where you can go, okay, well, I can guarantee that this guy is going to get this many points, and his floor is this, and his floor is this, and you can do that. But when it comes to cash games, I'm looking for who are the players tonight that could be forced to take 25 shots, and, yeah, who are those guys? And I put those guys in my lineup. Lamb, I like Lamb. So, yeah, at point guard, I'd rather, it's not saving you a ton of money by switching from point guard from Brandon Knight to Kemba Walker. It's $500. If you can't spend that money someplace else that makes your team better that you like, then, yeah, go with Brandon Knight. I would never make a move unless I thought the move was going to help me, someplace else. And $500 isn't enough. If you were coming down to Cannon and then you could come up, someplace else, that would be like an advantageous, move. So, anybody else here? What do we got? What do we got? So, I think I'm going to see Kobe tonight, guys. I'm going to see Kobe. I'm going to see Kobe, and I'm going to see Kobe shoot so many three-pointers, and they go boom off of the rim because he cannot make the three-pointers like he used to, but he's going to try it anyway. Yeah, it is a slow night tonight. I think people are fading me, man. I think people are like, you know what? He had his run. He won his money, and we're not listening to this guy anymore in his garage. Oh, you saw him in Philly? Yeah, he opened up strong. He's doing that East Coast tour. Yeah, I don't think people are trusting me. Like I said, guys, this is not a talk about every player. If you ask me a question, I'll answer it. But this is not a, well, this guy has merit, and this guy has merit, and this guy has merit. Well, this guy has merit. You know what? This guy, he's got merit. And this guy, you ever look at this guy? You look at his numbers. Yeah, you could play him. You could play him. You could definitely play him. It's more of, this is who I like. If you want to go with me, go with me. If you don't, don't. I'll give you my logic, and if when I say what I say, you agree, cool. Cool. I prefer your process talks more than anything, to be honest. The garage of dreams. I could talk a little bit about my process since I'm not getting any more questions right now. But I guess you've already heard it, and the audience hasn't grown enough where I think that anyone on here hasn't heard it. But I build my salaries. I build my team in tiers. I look at the top $10,000 guys, and I pick one, and then I go through. Just breaking down how you get there is the best. And then I go to the $9,000 tier and the $8,000 tier, so on and so forth, and I select one guy, and then I make a lineup that I really like based on doing that. And if I run into a situation where it's like tonight, I've got two centers that I like at the price point, which locks up a lot of my space on my team or on my roster because once you throw a center there, it's like now you're kind of handcuffed when you have the two centers. But I think Gasol is going to just destroy Denver, and so I got to go with it. Thoughts on punting Len and or Cephalosha? I like Len and Cephalosha. Like both of them. I had Cephalosha in the lineup, but I lost them for somebody else because I made a move. But Len is definitely the center punt. Definitely the center punt. So yeah, so I'll talk a little bit about, and I've said this before. I try to come up with a game script, okay, and that's the most important thing. You look at the lines, you look at the games, and then you say, okay, in order for this line to be correct, what has to happen? In order for the Golden State game to stay within, I think it's nine, stay within 9 points, what has to happen? Well, Kemba needs to show up. So I think that's going to happen. Like I have to think, like if I was betting the game, would I take the Charlotte Hornets plus the 9? Well, no, probably not. But I think they get to more than 9 somewhere in the fourth quarter, which leaves these people out there long enough to do what they're going to do. However, I think that Curry is not the play tonight because I look at Kemba and I go, he's gonna slow him down. Not a lot because you can't really stop him, but just enough. I would much rather target if I was going to take high dollar guys, and I have from the Houston New Orleans game because Houston plays no defense, and James Harden can pretty much hit it from anywhere on the court. Now I do worry about him going into the post, or not the post, but going into the paint, for his lay-ins and stuff, because I find, and my buddy Josh actually told me this, so I'm not going to say that I find, he put me onto something interesting. When Harden is in there, because he's not the kind of center that spreads the floor, he pretty much hangs out right under the basket, it leaves a big guy chilling there right under the basket, which makes it harder for Harden to go in and make his easy lay-ins. Um, which is why I like Anthony Davis, because Anthony Davis. Hold on, I'm getting a message here. That I actually have to answer this right now, guys. I'm sorry, but Anthony Davis. Anyway, so Anthony Davis is the block shot master. So if Harden has to come in and do those floating lay-ins where he's got to throw them high, I think he just jumps up and smacks the shit out of him. And then Harden's going to have to start shooting from the perimeter, which he can make them. So I like Anthony Davis, I think, the most between Harden, now that I'm thinking about it and I'm talking it out. But uh, I'm getting a message about a suite or whatever from someone that sorry guys. This is the boring, but I have this. I have to send this. If you guys have a suite, I'm so sorry, guys. Ask questions. Mahimi is a good value play for sure. Yeah, like Mahimi, and I like that. See, you just created your own little narrative within the game. So you're saying Ian Mahimi, DeAndre misses free throws equals rebounds for Mahimi. And yes, yes, he misses that second free throw like we know he's going to do. That could work out to be an extra 5, 6, 7, hell, 10 rebounds for Mahimi. So I do. I like that. No, that's a good way to think. Go see Kobe tonight. Still working on these tickets. And I'm an idiot. I wrote hi in the email instead of writing like HI, like any normal person would. I'm sitting here and I'm talking to you guys, and I wrote hi, HIGH. A moron. Okay. All right. That's sent off. Cephalosha for a punt. Yes, I like Cephalosha. Do you think you have to have a big guy in cash in to cash in GVP tonight? I don't. My God's honest feeling is that you do not have to have a big guy, because I think there are guys below him like Wall, who I think is in a very good matchup against the Lakers. They can't guard point guard. I mean, if that game gets out of hand, then there may be a problem. But if they're still riding that high, from him the other night, scoring all those points and everything. But I think when you got guys like Porzingis, who I expect to have a good game, when you've got value like Jeremy Lamb, that that I think are going to get an extra run, when you've got a great value in Cannon at point guard, who is a 30-point threat, every night. When you've got Gortat or Len as value, Kemba Walker's not that expensive, and with the game script that I've built, he's valuable. I don't know that you need to sell out on those guys. Like I said, I did it in one place and I took both of them. Everyone else is like a balanced lineup that I have. So that could be the kiss of death for me tonight, but I'm choosing to balance it out. I've got Curry in one lineup with Kemba Walker, because of the idea he goes nuts and then Kemba's got to answer, and if they get into one of those, I mean, you could get 120 between those two guys. It's possible. All right, we got a Twitter question coming in. The Twitter. Where is it? All right, Twitter questions. Live streaming now. Thank you, Stephen Williams. Suns have to go with Teletovic or Lord Center if Lang gets in foul trouble. Drummond eats. You mean he does well? That's slang term. Suns have to go with Teletovic or Lord Center if Len gets in foul trouble. And I think that Len could get in foul trouble. He's gotten in foul trouble the last couple of nights. But when he's out there, he launches up those threes, man. So, and he likes to get up there and just and dunk the ball. I'm not coming off my picks. What's your thoughts on Blake Griffin? Love Blake Griffin if CP3 sits. Don't like him as much because, once again, at that price point, let me bring this up. At that price point, I'd rather spend down a little bit and get Kawhi if that's where you're going there, or down to Drummond. I never thought I would say down to Drummond, but yeah, Drummond. Fade and Len, good idea in my opinion. Yeah, I only put him in a spot or two, but that's to make room for other things on my lineup that I like. Yeah, I like the Len. I really like Gortat. I was gonna go Gortat across the board, but I wanted to get one of these higher price guys in my lineup. But I like Gortat. So, anyways, Stanley Johnson, dude, I don't even know who this guy is. Okay, and he's been ass pounding me every time I've played. Like, he's good, but I don't know his story. 20, 42. I mean, Jesus, this guy's insane. Who's the who's the small? He just tore up Houston. Yeah, I just don't know enough about this guy. I've got to start watching him play. I mean, I hope I don't miss the boat on him yet again, but I just don't know enough about it. This is one of those things where if you're not in the know or you're not really aware of like what his deal is with a player, it was like that with Cannon. I was playing Cannon for 2 weeks straight before anyone finally picked up that, holy shit, this guy scores a lot of points every night. Because people get lost in the shuffle. He's going to have to deal with. Who do they run into? I mean, Mark. I mean, I'm basing this on the giant green 20. Cause I don't know enough about them. The giant green 22. Sure, but it's not an informed. It's not an informed decision. Yeah, Covington. He's good for Stanley Johnson. He's good for 20 minutes. I just don't. I just don't know enough about him. I just don't know enough about the guy. I wish I did, but I don't. And wait, was that who said you said that was good for 20 minutes? Oh, well. All right. Well, I've got to get ready to go to this Wizards game, guys. So I'm gonna pop off here. But thank you so much. Good talk. I'll tweet out my. I mean, he's going home. He's going home. You know, he's from Charlotte. Maybe he does. Kobe Bryant will play. Oh, we're gonna see Kobe tonight. We're going to see Kobe. We're going to see Kobe. We're going to see Kobe. And Kobe gonna shoot the three. But Kobe won't make it, you see. That's my song. All right, guys. Peace later. And if I don't win something tonight, I hope you guys win something tonight. All right, later.